Good morning. 6:30 in the morning, June 25th. Newcastle Island, just off the coast of Vancouver Island, Nanaimo, British Columbia. So we ended up staying an extra day. We're wanting to cross Georgia Strait over to the Sunshine Coast, but yesterday was windy all day and you're in quite open water, so we decided to just stay here in this terrible place for another day. It's actually quite nice, but I thought I'd show you this morning because I got up, everything is just dead calm. Really pretty on the harbor here. All you can hear is all the birds. Lots of eagles here, kingfishers, songbirds. Anyway, looks like there's a good chance to make the crossing today. I'll give you a map view of this leg of our journey. So we're going from Nanaimo over to Secret Cove Marina and Store. We've been moored right here in this little bay. I think it's called Mark Bay, Newcastle Island. So we're going to motor out of here and down this channel beside all these marinas into Departure Bay. And we're going to come out of Departure Bay and start our journey across the Georgia Strait. So you can see it's just going to be the most wide open we're going to get as far as the seas go. Strait of Georgia right there. So around to, I don't know, 15 or so miles or maybe 20 miles, but on a slow boat it's going to take us about 3 hours. And it's gone and checked all the weather forecasts and everything. There's no watches or warnings weather-wise here. It's going to be a little bit of a wind, so it'll be kind of a little lumpy crossing. And then once we get over right in here, it'll settle down because we're going to come between these islands here and get a little bit of shelter from the wind. South Thornby Island here, Buccaneer Bay is popular with people. They come across over here for the day. There's a really nice sandy beach and you can anchor in there. But we're going to come through here past Smuggler Cove Marine Park and into this really little kind of sheltered area, Secret Cove. It's got different arms in here, different marinas, but we're going to the Secret Cove Marina right here, and we're just booked in for a night. So we'll give you a look at the crossing, entering Secret Cove, and a few pictures from here. Oh, off the ball and on our journey again. Goodbye, Nanaimo. Let's give you a little closer look at the harbor here. People come down on the causeway and walk around there. There's a nice park down there. People go down there, go swimming. Looks like we're going to go down around Newcastle Island past these marinas and then out through Departure Bay, where there's a big ferry terminal. Check out all the flower pots on that boat. It's like a little, it's kind of shaped like a little houseboat. So we came up the channel there past all those marinas. Now we've entered Departure Bay and the Departure Bay ferry terminal. There's a ferry run that goes from Departure Bay over to Horseshoe Bay in North Vancouver. Right now it's about 9:45. There's usually a 9 o'clock ferry, so we shouldn't see any ferries coming in. A little breezy over here. Just over here is a nice beach that actually people hang out at and even swim in the bay sometimes. Water's really cold, but people do it. But it's a nice spot for people to hang out in the summer.
The house that I grew up in is right up here.
And the house that Anne grew up in, little Anne, just a toddler Anne, up on the bluff there, on the hillside there. That's where Anne grew up. Woohoo! There's a guy going to get his fish. There we go, heading out of Departure Bay. Passing by the other end of Newcastle Island here. Now we're heading out into open water. This is the most exposed part of our journey, going across Georgia Strait. Heading off towards the mainland there. You can see the mountains in the distance. So we're a couple kilometers out of Nanaimo. Just wanted to show you where Anne also lived when she was a teenager. Right over there is a pretty little bay called Hammond Bay, and there's a park called Neck Point. I've actually done a video on Neck Point. It's so pretty. Maybe I'll link to that. Anyway, there's an island they call Shack Island over there, and behind that, right on the waterfront, is where she used to live. Her dad recently sold it, as he's 94 now, so he had to move into a different place, so it was just too much of a big house for him. But yeah, it was a beautiful place to grow up, I imagine. Popular spot out here to do salmon fishing. Come out here and troll, catch some nice big salmon. So we're right in the middle of Georgia Strait now. Getting a little bit of rocking once in a while, but boat just keeps chugging along. 6.6 knots. Well, almost there. We've crossed the big part of the strait and we're starting to come in on the Sunshine Coast now. You can see Secret Cove there. Just have to go through these islands and into there. Last little stretch here is getting a little lumpy. It's kind of hitting us on the side. We're getting quite rolly. So Anne's having to kind of tack into the waves here. Kind of zigzag our way across so it's not so rolly. Give you a look on deck so you can see how it is when it's kind of lumpy out. go. A little bit rolly, you have to really watch yourself when you're on deck, but it's got lots of places to grab. Oh yeah, the waves are hitting us from this side. Not as calm as the first few days.
We're almost out of it.
Almost out of it. Hey, see them rolling into us from the side.
Tack a little bit with this last bit.
Yeah. There we go. Vancouver Island in the distance. A red and white sailboat going by the red and white lighthouse. Well, we made it out of the rolly wave section there. Now we're behind some islands again, so it's all calming down. Not a bad trip across the Georgia Strait. Pretty good seas. It can be a lot worse in nasty areas, so you really got to watch yourself going across there. Now we're going to cruise in between the islands and get to Secret Cove. Show you a few things as we cruise on by. Got a tug over here. Guess he's waiting for his timing. He's got a big boom behind him, but he's not moving, just sitting there. There's his log boom. So this is the BC mainland. Lots of nice houses dotting the shore along there. That's where the highway goes along there, and it connects up to Campbell River by a ferry and all the way up to Lund, where we eventually will go. Then on this side, I think it's Thormanby Island. It's a really pretty island, has a pretty anchorage on the other side. But most of it is a provincial park, so you don't see any houses or anything on it. It's kind of stayed its natural state. Another sunny day. Had a good string of sunshine anyway. I think we're going to get up to around 24 Celsius, near 80 degrees today. Beautiful British Columbia. Oh, we made it. Just coming up on Secret Cove. Follow this other boat in there, the Buccaneer Express. a little ferry landing craft, takes people over to Buccaneer Bay. Well, 6:30 in the morning, up with the birds here when we're on the water. Had a nice stay here at Secret Cove Marina. Took the dinghy out last night and kind of roamed around and explored some of the different little arms of this area. Lots of nice houses here with docks and a few little marinas. But today we're going to venture out and find some place to anchor. The marina thing's not quite our style, and it's awfully expensive. I think most of them are running down here, you know, when they're close to Victoria or Vancouver, highly populated areas. They're costing us about $2 a foot per night for what they call transient moorage, which is you're just coming in for a day or something, or a day or two. So that gets up to be $70, $80 a night. Quite expensive. Whereas there's a lot of places you can just anchor for free. So I'm going to move a little bit more northbound away from populated areas. Get ourselves a nice little anchorage to spend a night or two in. Anyway, stay tuned, folks.